point.
You know what, honestly, I'm going to call my shot on this, brothers. I think we're going to have breaking news before we get off the air.
Today.
How about that? Boom!
Well, I tell you, if you ever needed one more game to motivate you to make a trade, last night was the one.
Yes.
There is talk, and growing talk, that maybe Kevin Durant would be the guy who gets traded. The Suns, they can make all these moves and do all this positioning, and there can be all these rumors about trading Bradley Beal for Jimmy Butler, or Beal to Team B, and then Team B to Team C, and Team C to whatever. But if Bradley Beal doesn't want to get traded, you can't trade him. And there is now talk about maybe trading Kevin Durant. I don't know if it's coming from the Suns.
What you talking about, Luke?
But
trading Kevin Durant? Seriously,
well,
KD? You're going to trade him?
Here's Brian Windhorst from Get Up this morning.
I know a couple of weeks ago that Steph Curry said, let's not be desperate. But that is not the way they are now operating. Joe Lacob, the owner, wants change, and they are canvassing the league for a major acquisition. But they did this last year at the deadline. They tried to get LeBron. Now they're trying to call on Kevin Durant. They're trying on Jimmy Butler. If you've got a star player they're not nailed down, they have probably called. They have been trying to get a star for a long time. Just because they want one doesn't mean they're going to get one. But the Warriors are absolutely all over the place. And last night, Draymond Green admitted, even though they're having a good stretch right now, there's some tension in the locker room because nobody knows who might get traded. So very interesting 48 hours coming up in Golden State.
There we go. A little bit of honesty from Draymond Green. Yeah, of all the people right there to actually, you know what? Hey, listen, there's a little bit of tension in here because somebody might get dealt.
You might not know it because I haven't sucker punched anybody lately, but we're still tense. We're just not that tense.
Oh, my goodness. Do you believe this story that although the Suns are signaling that they do not plan to move Durant, they are open to actually hearing offers from other teams?
Look, let me go on record as saying this. The one thing I don't want to do is trade Kevin Durant. I don't really want to trade Durant anyway, but I don't want to trade him in a trade that just gets me Jimmy Butler back. That's the one thing that doesn't make any sense if that were to play out, because Kevin Durant's a better player than Jimmy Butler. Kevin Durant hasn't been pouting for the last 2 months like Jimmy Butler. If you're going to trade Kevin Durant, which I don't really agree with, but if you were going to do that, you'd be doing it to kind of hit the reset button, right? Not to bring in Jimmy Butler. If you're trading Durant, to me, you're trying to set yourself up where this isn't scorched earth for the next 3 or 4 years after this.
Yeah.
You're not doing it to bring in Jimmy Butler and be in the exact same position with a lesser player.
Yeah. Man, so much. So much of what the Phoenix Suns are lacking, I think, was on display over the last 2 games as well. The leadership. Leadership. It is so critical to me. It is. And the reason why it is to me, Base Learning, is because I've been inside a locker room. Okay, I'm not saying I'm right on this. I'm just saying it's my experience. It is my experience of being inside a locker room and there being a leadership void, and I know what that looks like, and being leadership heavy, where suddenly you've got all sorts of leadership inside a locker room. And it's the unseen, what it does. It pulls everything together. It makes you thicker. Thick as thieves is the old saying. It does. It brings you together. That culture that is out there. Well, good. You've got all these different points of culture. Things you want to be. Things you want to do. This is who we are. But leadership pulls it all together. Right now, the Suns are leaderless. That's what it looks like. And that's why they're hovering around 500 right now, when I think they've got better talent than a lot of the teams that are playing.
Yeah,
like the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah, and you're in this spot now, too, where you're so locked up with – and that's not really so much that you have Durant. It's that you have Durant with Beal, right? But either way, the contracts have locked you up so much where we're now seeing – huge names fly around in trades, and the Suns can't even remotely get involved. Now, I mean, it doesn't seem like anybody was allowed to trade for Luka if they weren't the Lakers, but, De'Aaron Fox gets moved, Zach LaVine, like some of these other guys, and I know De'Aaron Fox wanted to go to San Antonio, but I'm just saying, if you're the Suns, you have to stand back and watch all this because you have no flexibility. You're so limited in what you can do. This is the other slap in the face to Suns fans and the Suns. You've finally got an owner that's willing to pay whatever it takes to win. And right as you finally get that owner, the NBA is like, let's put some penalties in if you're willing to pay money to try and win. So you're so just tied up right now while teams like San Antonio are getting significantly better around you, or a team like the Lakers has their next star for however many years, and you just kind of have to try to talk your players into waiving no trade clauses.
Yeah, I know. It's maddening right now. It is. It's maddening to me. Yet at the same time, here's the one thing we know. This isn't working. This is not working.
True.
The Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker, this experiment that we all stood and applauded, including myself. My goodness, give me the baton. Lead the parade. The big three, here we go. What we do know is this. It's not working. It's plain as day. Do you not have to do something drastic at the deadline?
We haven't even gotten an Emirates Cup out of this yet, Wolf. Not even an in-season tournament championship.
Again, imagine the faith that it takes in these players and in this team to say, at some point in time, they're going to turn this around. They're going to get it. It's going to click. They're going to turn it around in the second half of the season right now. Go off and rip it off and go on a run. They're going to turn this. Imagine the kind of faith that really takes, especially coming off these two losses to the Trailblazers.
That would be
once
tough.
again.
That'd be really. I mean, that's it, right? Like if you were looking for any sort of like sliver of hope, now you've traded for Nick Richards. But Coach Bud's not even really playing him in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
He played 18 minutes and had one foul.
Against DA.
Yeah, like against the guy you would need him against. Now, I know Nick Richards was a minus 16 in the game. It's not like he was out there playing like Jokic, but you need him, and you traded for him. He's not even playing. Then you go out and you trade that 2031 first for 3 other firsts, but you haven't moved any of them yet. So that doesn't make a whole lot of – like, it's all pointing to them doing something. Because if not, if we get to Friday and they haven't done anything – then your moves were for Nick Richards, who you're not playing, and for 3 picks that you took less value so that you could move those to 3 different teams if you had to. So that felt like part 1 of something. So I'm with you. Something's coming. I don't know if it's coming today or tomorrow or Thursday, but it almost has to at this point.
Yeah. Again, I'm reading this from an article, Basinonians, that I ripped, of course, from the internet. And I forget who the guy is. Fisher is his last name.
Jake Fisher?
Jake Fisher. Is it Jake Fisher right there who wrote this article? But it does say, according to Fisher, Durant is aware of these discussions that are going on right now. I wonder how that is going to impact KD. Do you think KD would be interested in going to Golden State? Do you think he would be going back and playing with Draymond Green and, of course, Steph Curry?
It seems like one of those things. I mean, I don't know how we still don't know the full story of how things ended with Draymond and KD. It seems like one of those things where maybe he'd be open to it, but it doesn't seem like he's like actively pursuing it. You know what I mean? Is Golden State really in that much of a better position than the Suns right now? So, I like I said, I wouldn't move KD. I would at least give that to the summer and then kind of maybe have some more time to pull something off. I would want a huge haul. We can talk about this later on. We talk about the Luka thing, but did you see, I think it was the Nets. It was like one of the Nets beat reporters tweeted out what Brooklyn ultimately got for Durant, and it's like 17 things. And then what the Mavericks got for Luka, which is Anthony Davis and a pick, basically, Max Christie. That's what I would want back. I would want about 17 things, or at least like 10 things.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.